everyone, I'm Obs on Obs Avenue, and today I am entering in grades and working on transcripts for our school year for my children. Grading actually isn't a requirement where I live, but it is a choice that I have made to do. Some of the reasons I have chosen to do this is because one, it helps me stay on task of what we are accomplishing at home, helps me be able to assess about where my children are at and how they are learning. And it also helps me prepare for those future years in like high school and stuff, because I feel like there's several jobs out there or colleges that will be looking at their grades and transcripts in those high school years. And so I wanted to get some good practice years in so I knew what I was doing and felt comfortable in the work that I was turning in. And so I was going to work on those today, and I hope it can help someone out there. So I will personally just enter in their grades once each semester. I ideally had thought that I could do it like every Friday or every other Friday, and it was just too much. And so it ended up that I have been doing it once a semester. I will take one child at a time. I will gather up one subject at a time, and which has been easy because most of it's just been out of the book, and I have graded their tests and stuff in there as we went. And so then I'll just put in an amount for our practice work, and then I will put in their test scores and things like that. Their papers I have graded throughout the year, just nothing has been entered into the computer. And so that is what I am going to do today to get the gist of where they are at on the spectrum, and I can put it into their transcripts for the year, for their end of year grades. Okay, so for the first thing that I do for my grading is I create a grading format so that I can copy it and make it easy for myself to just reuse over and over again for all the grades that I enter in and for each subject that I do. I like to create mine in an IXL program, and I like the one on my Gmail Google account because then I can share it with my children, and I've created emails for them, and so that makes it easy for me to share it with them, and then come what may, they will always have access to their grades and their transcripts and things that they have turned in. And so in creating my grading format, I am here in Google. Here's kind of what I did is I left an open space up here for the title and what subject it is and what kid and what grade they are in. That's what I'll enter in here. I have the date that I can enter into this column, the assignments, I can title them here. The weight is how much the assignment is worth, and then the score is their actual score that they got. And then here in these boxes, you just enter in this little code here. You write whatever column this is divided by the weight of how much it is. And so then say their assignment was worth 10. Oops. And they got maybe 8 right out of it. And then it will go ahead and put the percentage in for me. And then I've created this grading assessment over here, and so I can go over here and look at 80%. That means they got a B minus, and so then I can go ahead and click and fill out the chart after that. I left room here that if there was a special picture that got colored for, like, say art, or maybe a test or a paper that got written, I can take a picture of it and attach it here for them to keep for later, and less papers for me to keep on hand. And then here at the very end, actually I will talk about this in the next one. So my 5th grader, I'll go ahead and pull his up. Here's his math from the first semester that I had entered in. And so I'll go ahead and just enter in the lesson, how many lessons it is before his assessment. And I think I gave him 1 or 5 points per lesson. I'll have to figure that out. And if he completed the lesson each day, then I gave him full credit for it. And then here's his assessments. Here's how much they were worth, and here's his percentages he got. So over here, let's see if I can scoot this over. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, so for the weight, I just, here's the I can't remember what you call it, but anyways, you just put equal, capitalize your sum, and then put in parentheses. I went from the top of C4, which is right here, and just went down a long way, so I knew I was covered, and it just adds them all together. Same thing for their score column, except it's D4 all the way to however far I can go. And then for the percentage, I take this box, I-20, and divide it by H-20, which will give me the percentage, and I can change it into percentage form by clicking on this little percentage format, and it will tell me. And then after I'm done with both semesters, I can go ahead and enter in their grade and GPA for that. Down here on the bottom, I can create a page for each subject that they have. This year we've done math, literature, science, history, geography, Spanish, and art. After I will get all of these entered in, then I can enter them into their transcript. I'll give you a little look at our literature, because these ones are a lot more intense of things that we actually enter in as grades, because we do writing assignments, and we also do our independent work, so those are also plugged in, but we also have spelling tests and just many more assignments that we look at here. So here is what my official transcript page is. This is where I will put in each subject. Up here you put in your child's name, their date of birth, and their email. You enter your school's name. Mine will just be like my last name, academy. Then you enter your address here on these two lines. Here are the subjects that we covered this year. Here's where you put your credits. Down here is where I can assess their grades and stuff. Again, for their weight, their score, their percentage, their grade, and their GPA. And then I will create a box here and a box here for their final GPA and for their credits earned this year. And then after I get it all entered in, I print out my transcripts. I print out each subject, and then I will put all of it into this nice folder for them that I can enter in for their grades, and I can keep it in a safe place. I also put in a couple of select examples of their work throughout the year to put in behind those pages. And then it is done, and we're all done for that year. All right, here's my final product. I have a title page with their official transcript. Then I went ahead and put in each sheet with their grades on it, along with a few examples of each. Here's their L&A with some stories that they wrote. Science. And we have history and geography. And this is our Spanish section. Art. And then we did a dragon theme this year, and so we just put that in there for fun. And so that is our folder this year. So those are the outlines that I use, and this is how I enter in our grades for my children and what works for us. Hopefully it helps give ideas, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.